everyone. Welcome. My name is Deborah. I recently participated in the Soap Challenge Club for the December 2021 challenge, which is called Back to Basic. As you can see on the screen, it says, let's make soap without air bubbles, soda ash, glycerin rivers, unmixed colorants. Now, it looked easy, but trust me, it was a lot harder than I had thought. Who would have thought it really took a few times of doing this? Now, we also had to match the colors up to this beautiful palette that you see here. So matching those colors was not easy. I went through a few trials and errors before I came up with these colors. Now, these colors did change later on, which I won't tell you. You'll get to see for yourself. So things did change, but as you can see from the palette, I came as close as I possibly could to match these colors up. Now, some of the colors that I used to get those colors was I used some spirulina, some natural spirulina, along with some Mad Mica, which is called Key West Blue. I also used some turmeric and some bright raincoat, yellow raincoat. Now, I was really shocked that these colors matched up as good as they did, but once again, trial and error. I also used some pumpkin head, and I used some anata. So, like I said, I'm really shocked that these colors worked. Boy, I was glad. Also used some activated charcoal for the black, and I used some blue shocker for one of the blues that you see there. Now, the fragrance oil that I use is called Amazing Grace Type by Nature's Garden. Now, I love using this because it always worked good. Now, as you can see, the soap's all been chopped up and it's going to be turned into little balls. But I had a few little ones thought I should make some marbles. My grandkids asked me if I would make marbles out of the soap. So now we have a whole different pattern here, as you can see. But that was nowhere near this that you see here now. Now, we was to bring our soap into trace, and one of the things to keep air bubbles down was to use the whisk. Now, I just added some coconut milk to my soap here. Now, this soap was to stay basic, so the coconut milk was a little extra there. Also, as you can see, I speeded up this video because whisking and whisking and more whisking. And I'm a lefty, and my right hand just will not whisk like the left one does. So I spent a lot of time just whisking away there. And I tried to use two whisks. I ended up using them both in my left hand there. So it was a long process, but we did bring it to trace. Now here, I've also speeded up on this as well. I've got my colorants mixed there, and I have some fragrance oil, my Amazing Grace, with a little bit of kaolin clay mixed to it. Once again, still not quite as basic, but I did want to add that to that. Also, my colors start to change colors a little bit, and I was like, oh my goodness, what is going on? But it did snap back, but it did change colors, and I was like a little shocker there because I don't remember the Amazing Grace doing that. But it did do it here, and like I said, it did change back, but before then I was like a little bit concerned about it. Okay, here, just whisking them all together. Like I said, the colors are really beautiful. I love the colors. The palette was just awesome. But I did have to do this quite a few times to get these colors to match up as close as I did. The black I thought would be a problem here because it usually sometimes get thicker on me. But everything stayed nice and fluid. Thank goodness for that. Nothing seized up, nothing got riced up. Everything was just really awesome. So here I have this, just my basic color, and it started turning yellow. I was like, what the world? But it did turn back. But you know, when you see this, you wonder, are you going to still get your colors that you're shooting for when you see something turn this yellow? I mean, this was like bright yellow. As you can see, I also added some Amazing Grace to the remaining of the soap. Now, if I was really trying to get this bright yellow, I probably wouldn't have been able to get it. But it's here. It did change back. Thank goodness for that. Now, one of the challenges that I was running into, as you will see here in a few minutes, is this. These are all soap dough marbles. And if you ever want to get air bubbles, this is one way you would get air bubbles. But I was really counting on all that whisking that I did and a lot of pouncing down, just really packing this down to pull those air bubbles out of there. So like I said, if you ever was going to have some air bubbles, this would be something that would cause you to get air bubbles. So we just packing and pressing down. Now I did put this on the floor and really smack it really hard to make sure I could keep those air bubbles out of there and get them out of there for sure. And this soap dough marbles, they're all different sizes. Those little hands, my little grandkids all was rolling soap dough, and they was all calling it marbles, so we're calling it marbles there. Some of them was way too big. I had to reshape them there because we had some big ones that was way too big. Like, okay, I know we have big marbles and little marbles, you guys, but we want to have a nice format here. So just smacking down. So I'm hoping that all the whisking of the soap is going to pay off, and all of the smacking down. Now I will be back after 24 hours to show you how this looks. Now I will put it in the oven at 170 and let it go through a gel phase, and we shall see what we get from that. It looks good so far so good. Okay, here we go. 24 hours later, and we have soap here with lots of, as my grandkids call, marbles. Lots of dough balls here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this to see what we have here. Fingers crossed here. Okay, I'm out of the camera there. Let's get in the camera, Deborah. Wow, okay. So far, no air bubbles. Please excuse the noise. I got my grandkids in the living room, and boy, they're loud. They are really loud today. Okay. Let's just line that up right. I want it to get it just a little bit bigger here. I hope everybody's having a great day today. I know I'm having fun. I'm so happy to be back to soaping. Whew, I'm so happy to be back to soaping. I missed it so much. Okay. Having trouble standing in the camera. I got a little helper here helping me. That's who with this camera here. So, okay, as you can see, there is absolutely no air bubbles. Oh my goodness, so far so good. Can you believe that? Usually I would have a big hole right now from the air bubble that got trapped in the soap, especially with all of these soap dough marbles, as my grandkids call it. Now, it might look like there are some air bubbles, but I had absolutely no air bubbles whatsoever, and this soap feels smooth. So whisking really does help, but it's a lot of work. So we're taking a lot of time out. It took a while, over 30 minutes. Let's put it that way, over 30 minutes to whisk this soap into a trace. I'm really pleased. Although I didn't follow the directions as far as having solid soap. But once again, we are calling these marbles. Marbles are colorful, so we got some colorful marbles. I had so much fun. Like I said, I'm so happy to be back soaping. It's been a challenge. I've had my plates full, like so many of us. Our plates are full right now. But I'm back, and I'm enjoying it. And hopefully I can get some more videos coming for 2022. Can you believe that? 2022. Oh boy, where did all the time go? These are my extra little pair of hands here. This is Dre, one of my grandsons. Dre, he wanted to help, so okay, Nana will let you help. Now I'm trying to show him, okay, you gotta hold this for the camera here. So here we go. Everything's smooth. I have not saw one air bubble I have no reason to lie, not one air bubble. Can you believe that? That whisking really helps. Now, when I use the immerser, the immerser, I get a lot of air bubbles. So this is really, wow, this is really awesome to see no air bubbles. And the soap feels so smooth. Trying to get those little hands to get in that camera there. Like, okay, you got to move your fingers so the camera, you can see it. Like I said, no air bubbles. I'm stoked here. So far, so good. We almost at the end of the soap, and I have not seen not one air bubble. What I've seen was a lot of smooth texture here. Even with all of these marbles, all of these soap dough marbles here, it did not get not one air bubble so far. So far, so good. Look at that. I am just impressed. And this soap feels so smooth. It looks smooth too. It looks just like it looks. It's very smooth. It feels amazing. So that might be something that I would try when a patient day, when I got a lot of patients, really try to whisk and whisk and whisk and whisk to see what happens again. Wow. But like I said, for this challenge, it was to do all those things to get your soap without any air bubbles and without glycerin rivers. So I have no glycerin rivers at all. Although I didn't use any titanium dioxide that usually gets you some glycerin rivers. I just trusted my colors to be as close as possible as far as the champagne looking color there, the kind of beige color, real light beige, to try to match up as close as I could. And there you have it. No air bubbles. No air bubbles. Wee, wee, wee. No air bubbles. I'm excited. That was great. So with that being said, thank you so much for stopping by to watch me do this challenge today. Thank you so much. Have an awesome and a blessed day. Bye now.